The Boston Celtics may be and probably are the best team in basketball right now, and I don't think it's particularly close. I think there's teams that could beat them in a playoff series, but right now, if I had to give you the best team in basketball, it would be hard for me to say anyone but the Boston Celtics for a few major reasons I would be getting for this video. The first one is that they're an excellent two-way team. Now, what I mean by that is they're very good on offense and defense. They are currently the 6th best defense in the entire NBA and the 3rd best offense as well in the entire NBA. And why is that such a big deal? It's because historically, if you go back and look at all of the NBA Finals teams that actually won, the vast majority of those teams were top 10 in both defensive and offensive efficiencies. I think, ironically, last year's Warriors were an exception because I think their offense was just super good and their defense was like top 12 or something like that. They were still pretty high. Like, they were an above average defensive team, but they weren't a great one. But they were a great offensive team, and they're the Warriors, so they're always going to be an exception. And after that, you have to go all the way back to like the 2001 Detroit Pistons. I'm pretty sure when they were the bad boy Pistons and their defense was insane and their offense was just average. So, I mean, there are like a few exceptions, but for the vast majority, you have to be a good two-way level team, and that is exactly what the Boston Celtics are. They're elite at both sides, and that is a huge part of being a finals contending team, is being one of the best teams on both sides of the basketball, and that is exactly what they are. So I think that's the first major pillar which makes a team one of the best in the NBA or the best in the NBA, and that is the main reason for Boston right now, in my opinion. But they also have many other reasons. One of that being that this team literally has basically no weaknesses, and I mean no weaknesses. There's no holes in this roster. Like, you can't find not one hole. As you look at their depth, right? Their depth is another major aspect to a roster, because most teams can add star level talent if they want to. Their problem is actually building a roster around them, and that's what really makes you a finals contending team, because no matter what two excellent players you put on, they need role players. If you don't have role players that are high quality, you're not winning the finals in today's NBA, and that is exactly what the Boston Celtics have done to probably the highest level possible, because look at the depth that they have. Like, it is literally unmatched. They have the defensive player of the year last year in Marcus Smart, who's their enforcer, who literally does anything you ask him to do. He's one of the best probably the best enforcer in the entire NBA. He literally won defense player of the year last year. He can still kind of score as well when you need him to. He's going to talk trash. He's going to do all the dirty work, and I mean all of the dirty work. He's just that annoying guy on the team that no other team wants to go against, but you have to, and he's gonna make his presence known no matter what. So, I mean, right there, that's one of the best role players in the entire NBA on their team. And then you add on top of the fact that they have one of the best veteran bigs in the entire NBA, and Al Horford, who literally just in the last game I just watched against Philadelphia 76ers basically won them that game. He went on a 9-0 stretch by himself. He had another big three down the stretch. Al Horford's just gonna be a very good veteran presence. He can spread the floor. He's going to do anything you want him to. He's not going to ever lose you a game. You know what you're going to get out of him, and that is exactly what Al Horford does, and he's one of the best veteran big men in the entire NBA. And then at center, you have Robert Williams. Robert Williams has really came on in the last few years. He's a great rim protector, very intimidating presence in the paint. He's extremely strong, can guard pretty much the 4 and 5 positions pretty effortlessly due to his strength and his width and his size. He's just overall a very good big man to have, and he doesn't need the ball in his hand to impact the game at all, which is huge. And the same can be said with Al Horford and Marcus Smart as well, which is a ginormous part to putting together high quality depth. And then look, even their 6th man, who was an addition through free agency this year, they got Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm Brogdon is one of the best guards off anyone's bench. He's going to give you a consistent about 15 points per game. He can score from any point of the court. He's a very good passer. He can handle the ball. He can literally do anything you want your backup guard to do. He would be starting on the vast majority of teams as well. So Malcolm Brogdon, literally almost as good of a bench guard you can get, because he's literally a starting level guard. At one point, I think he was almost an all-star level guard when he was starting for the Pacers. So you can't ask for much more than that. And then his even backcourt duo that he has is Derek White, who's one of the most underrated guards as well. They probably have, in my opinion, hands down, they have the best backcourt off the bench in the entire NBA. Derek White, another guy. He's a very good three-point shooter. He can score from everywhere, dribble, can make his own shot. He can literally do anything you want. He's like a slightly worse version of Malcolm Brogdon, but them two together off a bench is as good as you're going to get off of anyone's bench when it comes to a guard duo, hands down, period. And then even going farther down, it doesn't get any worse. It doesn't drop off at all. And then you have a guy like Grant Williams, an absolute three-point sniper. He's going to consistently be a good role player. If you leave him open, he's going to knock down the three. He can play defense as well. He's very, very strong. He was guarding Joel Embiid in the game I was watching. He's that strong. Like, when they go small ball, he's their power forward, or even sometimes their center if they go super small ball. So, I mean, he can just so versatile, can do so many different things. And that is what, their eighth man off the bench, which is absolutely insane. And that we're still not done. They have other great role players, as well as they have guys like Sam Hauser, who's an unsung hero, Mike Muscala, who plays sometimes, Peyton Pritchard, among other players as well. They have Blake Griffin, although he doesn't play pretty much at all for them. He is still a veteran presence on that team, and he does help lead them when it comes to veteran leadership. So this team, when it comes to a depth perspective, you're not beating them. They have the best built team in the entire league. It's not close. They can do anything they want. They can go small ball. They can go big ball. They can beat you however they want to beat you. And then on top of that, obviously, you have your two stars in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum is an MVP level player, and Jaylen Brown is an all-star level player. And that's actually the next thing I want to get into, is all the star talent they have on this roster. As in my opinion, when it comes to team building, you can do one or two things if you want to be a contending team. You can either have a big three of two superstars, one all-star, and an okay team around them, because the star level talent is going to be able to carry you. Or you can do what the Boston Celtics are doing. In my opinion, it's a much more effective strategy for long-term success. You can have a superstar level player, an all-star level player, and then one of the best benches in the NBA. And that is exactly what the Boston Celtics have done, as Jason Tatum legitimately has taken a leap to MVP level status. Like, he is playing as good as anyone, averaging 30 points per game, having by far the best year of his career, and he's just playing very, very good at a level that not many people on earth can possibly ever play at. And then you also have Jaylen Brown, who's also having one of the best years of his career. I'm pretty sure Jaylen Brown is averaging the most points per game, rebounds per game, free throw percentage, and field goal percentage of his entire career. So his game has also taken a ginormous step up, and he's also taken a leap to being a legitimate high-level all-star level player. Because before this year, you could debate, is he an all-star? Is he just like a very above-average player? Is he a star? He's a star. There's no doubt about it. And Jason Tatum is a superstar. There's no doubt about it. So when you put together a all-star, a very legitimate all-star, and a very legitimate MVP level superstar with one of the best benches in the entire NBA, along with some of the best supporting cast, even when it comes to starting lineup, with a very young and seemingly very successful coach as well, it's a recipe for success. And right now the Boston Celtics are bathing in it for sure, because they are looking unstoppable. It's not looking like anybody's going to be able to beat them in a 7-game series, and I would be very hard pressed to ever make any type of argument against them. And I was a hater on Boston last year. I had Golden State winning the finals last year, and they did win the finals last year, but the Boston Celtics last year were a very, very different team than the Boston Celtics this year. Tatum wasn't as good. Brown wasn't as good. They didn't have Malcolm Brogdon, and they just overall just weren't as good of a team. I think they're a much better team than they were at this point last year, and I think teams should be very, very scared of them, and they better pray for an injury or something, because I don't think how they are currently, they have any chance of losing in a playoff series unless an injury or something crazy does happen. But unfortunately, guys, that's going to be for this video. So comment below. Do you agree with me? Do you think that the Boston Celtics are going to win the finals? Do you think they're unstoppable? How far do you think they will go? I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you did have a point, hit the like button and the subscribe button. It means the absolute word to me. And I hope you have a blessed day, because I had a blessed day, so you need to have a blessed day. All glory to God. See you in the next video. Goodbye. Boo. Blah, blah.